Hey everyone, it's Mr. Wobbly94. I hope you're doing well today. I have my final review here for the Morrow arc from Dragon Ball Super. That book review is going to be for Volume 15, Morrow Consumer, of Worlds. Written by Akira Toriyama, and an amazing cover and art done in this book from Toyotaru, as always. They're a wonderful duo. Look at this cover here, with Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and Morrow with his final transformation, well, kind of final, in this fight. Now, 200 pages long, as most of these books typically are, roughly 190 to 200, somewhere in that ballpark. This is the conclusion, as I said, to the Morrow arc. And basically, every volume I've reviewed so far for the channel have been the Morrow arc storyline. All 7 of these volumes start and end this Morrow arc. That's a lot of books, dude. It's like over 1,000 pages of storytelling. This was great. This was absolutely fantastic. But let me tell you, the beginning of this book ain't starting off too great. Volume 15 does not start off the best. I have my nitpicks about this book overall. Some really goofy things about it, some really good things about it. It's not just the conclusion of the Morrow arc, it's also the celebration storyline for Chapter 3 of this book. Chapter 15, let me go back. Chapter 14, the previous book I just reviewed here on the channel as well, 14 was phenomenal. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was shocking sometimes. The character stuff was great. Vegeta's in the spotlight quite a bit. Goku's in the spotlight quite a bit. There's some great moments even with side characters like 7-3 and Mirus, however you say his name. All of that stuff in Volume 14 was incredible. Volume 15 wrapped up everything. However, 15 picks up on a plot point that irks the shit out of me over modern day Goku. Now, when I grew up as like watching Dragon Ball Z, being obsessed with it on Toonami, as I've said in all of my previous reviews, Goku was the guy that everybody wanted to be growing up at my age, in the 90s and in the 2000s. All of us wanted to be Goku. We wanted to be muscular like that. We wanted to be strong and be caring enough to be able to beat down bad guys and that kind of thing. Goku was an icon for that reason, but I've noticed, just like many people said with Dragon Ball Super's anime when I watched that, some of the mangas I read earlier, like Volume 2 and 3 and I think 4 were what I read back in the day. And then even in here, this particular volume, out of all the DBS Morrow-focused volumes that I've read, Goku is not the same Goku I grew up with. He has an ego that's not just, I want to fight bad guys. People try to disguise that. People in the fandom that aren't, like, dedicated fans who haven't been around since the 90s, they try to play stupid, too, and play a dumbass shill and basically say, oh yeah, well, Goku just likes to fight all the bad guys. That's why he makes poor choices sometimes. No, he didn't start making really, really poor choices until Dragon Ball Super, in my personal opinion. This is a phenomenal example of that, because as you know, this is kind of a light spoiler for Volume 14. I have to say this to be able to kind of really get you on the track of what I'm focusing on, but I promise I won't spoil anything too big in this book, just in case you care. In Volume 14, the previous book, Goku and Morrow were fighting at the very end of the book, and Goku basically had him pinned down with his Master Ultra Instinct going on, that transformation. He basically was like, Morrow, you're done. You can't beat me, dude. Well, Morrow starts begging for help as he got beat up. He also got put into his own fire that he'd been bringing out of the Earth's core where they're fighting at, and he burnt up himself pretty bad. He lost an arm. He's just destroyed. He doesn't have his transformation abilities where he can grab the back of your neck when he absorbs 7-3 and take your abilities. He doesn't have that available right now. So, Goku is winning at this point. Goku has beat this guy down. The guy doesn't have an arm anymore. Morrow should be dead at this point. Goku quits the Galactic Patrol at the end of the previous volume when he says, I want to fight this guy as an Earthling now. When I was on my vacation at the beach last week in North Carolina, Outer Banks, when I read this volume, I was like, Goku's gonna kill this guy. Maybe it's against the Galactic Patrol's, ideology, even though Jacko told him to go ahead and do it. When Goku said that, it perked my ears up a little bit. Made me wonder, what is he gonna do with quitting the Galactic Patrol? Is he gonna try to befriend this guy? He absolutely starts this volume trying to do that. Do you know what he really does? That proves the point that Super's Goku is not the same Goku from Z, and even from the original DB, or even from GT for that matter, if you conclude that at all, or love it. This Goku is an idiot. Just a fucking idiot. He is. He takes the Senzu beans from Krillin, and gives Morrow a senzu bean when he's clearly about to lose. And Goku does that and tells him basically, you need to leave, you've lost, there's no way you can beat me, you're done, get out of here, bucko, but I'll give you a senzu bean so you can get out of here faster. Or just leave. Goku makes the most stupid choices that I've ever seen in my life. And you can say this goes back as far as like when he fought Frieza and gave him a little bit of his power. But to me, that showed the mercy of Goku. This is not mercy. This is, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm going to give you a senzu bean, which will restore all of your abilities, your health, your strength, all of that. I know you lost your arm, but, you know, here, eat this. You'll feel 100 times better, even though I could be tired right now. Might not be able to fight you at 100%. Goku made stupid choices at the beginning of this volume. And when he did that, like Frieza, in a weird foreshadowing way, Morrow took that for granted and decided to attack Goku again. Morrow, as they fight again for another 2 volumes, or 2 chapters, excuse me, in this volume. Another 2 chapters of this book are Goku and Morrow throwing down. Morrow getting a couple of new abilities by a severed hand that he had left behind when Mirus, whatever his name is, cut off his hand. He gets his old hand back, has one final ability he can use, and now as he goes to fight Goku, he starts to transform again. And it turns into a massive, like, end of a video game boss battle, and it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, frankly. I thought it was really nice. Aside from that horrible senzu bean bullshit that Goku pulled, which was a terrible idea, everybody in the whole universe were at risk of being murdered by Morrow because of how dangerous this guy is. To me, this might be one of the strongest opponents Goku and Vegeta have ever dealt with, that the Z Fighters have ever dealt with, on Earth or abroad. Doesn't matter. This was such a stupid fucking decision, in my personal opinion, and it kind of ruined the Morrow arc a little bit because of how naive it was. It was more naive and more almost like they had to have a couple more volumes, so they had to give Morrow another chance to, just destroy everything. I don't know why Toriyama would make this choice. To me, it was a very poor choice in writing. I feel like it was one of the worst choices of a Goku character choice ever made. I don't know why. It feels like it's completely out of the way. It makes no sense for his character to do this, but in Dragon Ball Super continuity, sometimes it does make sense because Goku makes bad choices. Again, at least in the anime. I haven't read much of the manga to know. Well, I guess now kind of I have, but you know what I mean. When it came to the anime, he was making terrible choices left and right like a cartoon character. I know he is, but like worse than he is, you know, like Bugs Bunny logic type of shit. Anyway, Goku and Morrow fight, and then eventually we have the resolution, we have the ending of this, and I thought the finale of the fight, everything after that horrible senzu bean choice was fantastic. It didn't need to happen, Morrow was already beat at the end of the previous volume, but we kept going in an unnecessary fashion to get a really cool, again, end of a video game boss battle, and I loved that. I thought it was really great, really powerful, really wild, and I loved it so much, as a matter of fact, that I wanted to get the next couple of volumes while I was at the beach, and I went to a Target. I got volumes 17 and 18, I believe, but I couldn't find 16 while I was at the beach, so I was kind of stuck after this volume, and was frustrated, because I wanted to know what else was going to happen with this new arc that starts at the end of this book that I'll talk about in a moment. Now, as I said, the first half of the book, the first 100 pages, are focused around Goku and Morrow throwing down the Z Fighters and Goku trying to stop this guy. And that stuff was amazing. It was amazing aside from the senzu bean choice I talked about. Then the third chapter of the book is really the celebration of stopping Morrow, stopping this galactic prison breakout, having all of those guys jailed up now. They're back in the prison, and the galactic patrolmen are back to normal. That stuff was good. I like the conclusion involving Majin Buu with this whole Morrow arc. I thought that was really cool. If you haven't read it, that's not a big spoiler. I mean, he's been involved from the beginning of this thing. But that stuff was all really good. I really liked that. And then, the final chapter of this book, Volume 15, starts to talk about a new character and a new storyline that we introduce here. It's involved more and more in the next couple of volumes. That character and this arc are called Granola, the Granola arc. Now, Granola is a very odd name to give a new guy. He might be a villain, he might not be. We don't really know a whole lot about him, but I will tell you this. He apparently is a bounty hunter. He's apparently a sniper of some sort. And he's not the strongest guy ever. He apparently is from a world. You're going to love this part. You're going to love this part. This final 50 pages of this book, this is what I got to find out about. Kind of made my head spin around a little bit. He's a bounty hunter, Granola is, for this group called the Heaters. And they are all located on a planet called Cereal. Yes, Granola lives on Cereal. You know, I know the whole Dragon Ball has a lot of names, like Vegeta stands for vegetables and that kind of thing. I get it. I get it. I understand that a lot of these characters, like Piccolo, are named after fucking pickles. I understand. I get it. It's kind of cute. It's kind of annoying. This is one of the cases where it's kind of annoying. Granola lives on cereal. Why would you choose to do this? Akira, why would you do this? My boy, Toriyama, why would you pick this out? Anyway, weird names aside, we get the introduction of Granola. Basically, there were some people that were just bad guys who went to Earth and took the head of 7-3, the android that was developed and was then consumed by Morrow towards the end of the arc, the last couple of volumes, gave him some new abilities. These couple of random, just thieves show up at the explosion site where Morrow was killed, and they take this head of 7-3 that was left over that's slowly regenerating, and they run to their ship, they go back into space, they try to sell it off, basically. But Granola shows up, this bounty hunter guy, to come after 7-3's head in this area. And he takes it. In this chapter, we get to really watch him go after the stuff, take the head back with him, whatever. And he has like an AI voice that he talks to too, which is kind of a nice little companion thing off screen. He's not like there talking to him physically or like a robot or anything. That stuff's kind of cool too. But Granola is kind of a different type of character so far. I haven't really seen, at least from my knowledge off the top of my head, many characters like this guy that kind of is just like a bounty hunter type. I never even thought about there being bounty hunters in Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or anything like that. So that was kind of nice, having something a little bit newer that I don't really remember seeing anywhere in the past. It's been so long since I watched Dragon Ball Z, been a few years. I don't know. I just don't remember anything like it, so it was kind of nice. I kind of dug that quite a bit. But Granola, we don't get a whole lot of information about him here, but by the end of the volume, there's some cool ties to where Goku and Vegeta will eventually have to meet this guy. What is he about? What does he want? It was kind of nice, and I think there was no real ties to anything else at the end of this volume about this guy. But Cereal is a weird planet. Like, they have the Heaters, again, the guys that basically send you out on bounties to go hunt for heads and all of that. That stuff is kind of cool. But the characters themselves that are considered the group, the Heaters, they're kind of lame. I really don't like them all that much. They're just whatever to me. But outside of that, I really like Granola. Looks like it's going to be a promising arc. Maybe not as good as the Morrow arc, but it looks like it'll be pretty cool. I just finished reading Volume 16, the next volume. I'll probably review that tomorrow. And Volume 16 was pretty solid for what it is as a build-up to what the next arcs could be in the next couple of volumes. So I'm hoping it'll be good. But for now, the Granola arc is not as good as Morrow, but it's good. You know what I mean? So at the end of Volume 15 here, we had the introduction to that, but most of this volume, as I said, we're focused on the Morrow storyline, which was phenomenal. And I think it ended well, aside from the Senzu Bean bullshit that I keep complaining about. The art, once again, from Toyotarou is amazing. The final battle sequences with that, Toyotarou nailed it. Every single panel he needed to nail, he got it perfect. The art feels so just perfect. You couldn't improve it in any way, facet, or form. I love the designs for the characters, like, the Ultra Instinct Mastered Goku. I love that design in here. It looks so good for the black and white art that this book has. But anyway, when that comes to Dragon Ball Super Volume 15, Morrow Consumer of Worlds, I keep having to read the back of the book for the subtitles because it's not on the front. See? It's always on the back. I really, really, really loved most of this book, but it has some terrible, terrible choices. The introduction to Granola is a little weak. Not bad, but weak, so it's kind of whatever. That's the last, fourth of the book. But the conclusion of the Morrow arc is very strong. The Celebration chapter is very strong. I like all of that stuff. I think it's very powerful overall as a book. But that first choice, the Senzu Bean thing that I keep hitting on, was stupid. Really stupid. Just seemed like the most illogical thing you could possibly choose to do, and I personally don't think Z Goku would have done that. So, it's just me. Anyway, Dragon Ball Super Volume 15, Morrow Consumer of Worlds. Have you read it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments as a massive fan down in the comment section down below. What did you think about the Morrow arc? What did you think about Goku's choices here? What do you think about the Granola arc that's picking up right now? I'd love to hear all of those thoughts down in the comment section down below. If I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I would give Volume 15 probably about a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, the Granola arc is a little weak for a fourth of the book, but the Senzu Bean thing really, really impacted my opinions of not only Super Goku, but just Goku in general, because of what Toriyama's doing here. But anyway, overall, really good book. Really enjoyable read. Had a great time. 4 out of 5 stars. Have you read it? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you'll tune in for my Volume 16 review. Again, I plan on recording this tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll have time. I'll see what happens. It's a Friday. It's going to be busy. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching again. God bless you all. What's your thoughts? Goodbye.